The space behind me is a garden I started last summer. I did a lot of research and I combined a lot of different methods, a little bit of permaculture, a little bit of researching native species and trying to incorporate those, looking at beneficial plants and insect attracting plants and the relationship between them, and I spent a lot of time researching things. I don't know if you can tell, but at the end here is a circular shaped strawberry patch, and I've only planted a few strawberries in here. One's the Early Glow. It's got a runner with an established root system already, so I'm probably gonna take that and just plant it next to it. And then this one, Strawberry Flavor Fest, also has a little runner, so I think I'm gonna do the same with that. Up here I have pine berries. I only did 3 of them because at the end of the season, if you buy strawberries, they're expensive. But if you buy them in the spring, they're a lot cheaper. So I figured I'd wait until this time of year to order more. Out in this ring, I have the Everbearing strawberries. So there's about a half a ring of those. So that's the strawberry patch. This is a Fuji apple tree. Around it I've planted some daffodils, chives, and lavender to help deter deer. This is rhubarb, and it's used as a mulch plant. And in between, we have to watch our step because there's some lupine. This is what's considered a dynamic accumulator, and it has the long taproot. I went with lupine because comfrey was supposedly invasive, and I thought lupine would be a better fit. So I have the same sort of system around all the trees. We have hopefully a deer deterrent with the daffodils and different herbs. And then this one's an Arkansas black apple tree. Look at the sprigs. They're already sprouting. This over here is a pink lady. Got some nice green on that one. This is a Macintosh, and it's starting to get some green. Like I said, we have the same system around each tree, and then we have the mulch plants in between, and the dynamic accumulators. They hopefully will start sprouting up. I only see a few. Here's one of the blueberries. It's got some buds starting. Behind it, these are my hardneck garlics coming up. Where I'm standing was a clay tennis court at one point. Now, when we bought it, the tennis court was not here, but there was the depression from where it was, and this whole area, I guess, flooded in the spring. So we wanted to use it to plant. We wanted to be able to have usable space. So we brought in 140 cubic yards of loam and raked it all out. Greg really wanted grass. I didn't. He's standing over there. I didn't care about having grass. I just wanted a garden. So I got my garden and he got his grass. I have some asparagus that last I checked it had not sprouted, but let's take a peek. Oh yeah, we have some little baby asparagus coming up. These are Jersey Giant asparagus. That's one there, and that's one there. This is a pear tree. We're just over here cleaning up. This is some Greek oregano. That's one of my favorite herbs. Hopefully that'll take off too because it's a good ground cover. This right here is thyme. You can see the leaves. I wish I could send scent through the camera because it smells so good. Here is some lavender. Oh, this is one of my blueberries that got crushed by a stick. So hopefully that's okay. There are actually a couple cherry trees and a plum tree, but they don't look like they're doing too much right now. There's a couple hazelnut bushes and a bunch of other bushes throughout. I have, I think, about 4 different varieties of blueberry bushes. And then we have some beneficial insect attractant shrubs and stuff like that. So I'll show you around a little more. Here's some more lupine. I planted lupine all along this fence, and I planted bee balm all along here, but that didn't really do anything last summer, so I don't know if it needed the freeze to get it going or what. We have one of these are both, this patch and this patch are both soft neck variety garlics. And then I did a lot of flowers and stuff up front just for show, because, you know, that's the front of the house. Here's another blueberry. That is a pear tree. These were, I believe they were butterfly bushes. And Greg's hard at work picking up. So today we brought over some of the deep bedding from the chickens, and we're gonna throw that in here. I don't plan on planting this year. I'm just gonna let it break down over the next year. I'm gonna pull the rest of the straw off the garlics and the black raspberries and the asparagus, and we'll see what else we can get done. These are the blackberry bushes. Blackberry bushes are prone to diseases that are spread by raspberry bushes. So you're not really supposed to grow blackberries within 100, I believe it's 100 feet of raspberries. We do have wild red raspberries around here, so I just have to be diligent with these. Here are some little tiny asparagus shoots. Those were way under the hay. We have a few asparagus plants in there. They're Jersey Giant asparagus. And if you know anything about asparagus, and if you don't, this will be news to you. But when you plant asparagus, you don't want to harvest anything the first year. The second year you can harvest, I believe, 1/3. And then the third year you can harvest whatever your heart desires. So this is their second year. I planted them actually in the fall last year. So we might be able to get a couple spears and see how they are. Oh, you can see some signs of life on the Rose of Sharon. I left some of these bushes that were here because that's what the last owner planted. Those are Rose of Sharon, and basically I wanted to honor the history of the house. So the previous owners had planted these, and I was lucky enough to stumble upon a picture, and in it the house had a fence. So I wanted to add the fence back, and I ended up spacing it so that I could leave some of the Rose of Sharon. So that's what it's looking like. We had actually pulled, I don't know, about 30 bushes, and everyone who walked by we offered bushes to, so there's a little piece of community in several people's yards, because a lot of people actually came back and took bushes for their own yards. So it was kind of special because the previous owner of this house planted them, and instead of them going to waste when we pulled them, we got to share, you know, share the plants with people who knew them and people who loved them, and you know, they have a piece of this garden in their own yard. This is actually Asclepias. So this is a milkweed plant. So we planted some milkweed. I actually planted some seeds from the pod in the fall, hoping they would get that winter crack or whatever they need having the cold, and then in the spring they would sprout. I haven't seen any signs of it yet, but this doesn't show any signs of life either, so I guess we'll see what happens. I planted more of these. Well, I planted the seeds from the pod up around one of the pear trees, so we shall see. The goji berry should be in here somewhere. I'm not sure if you'll see it. It might be another stick. But we want to do a trellis on this end of the garden. Oh, it's right in here, and it's actually starting to sprout. So that's encouraging. We want to do a trellis over the entryway to this garden. This is the goji berry, and it's actually a shrub that we can train to grow over a trellis. So I'm pretty excited about that. Of course, it's starting to rain. April showers do bring May flowers after all. So I'm gonna just finish up here. I have to dump the deep bedding stuff from the chicken coop we brought over, and we'll be done. So that's a glimpse at the garden. I really only planted perennials and a couple things that I could harvest this spring / early summer. And I don't totally plan on working this too much over the summer. We'll see, because things always tend to change. But we've added the straw and the deep litter from the chicken coop, and we'll see what happens with this. I don't know that I will plant this summer, but I'm definitely prepping it for seasons to come. Turkey vultures.
That's a wrap.